Hello and welcome back. So this video is going to be about overhyped makeup products. These are things that I personally think are overhyped considering how popular they are on YouTube and even on Ulta reviews online. So I'm not saying that these are bad products. Some of these I would say were not great, but others are good products, but not so amazing that they deserve as much hype as they get. I did two other parts in this series. The first one was hyped up products that I do think are worth it. The second one was products that are underhyped. So I will link those in the description box for you. So let's get into it. This product is the only one I still have, and you could say it's kind of the inspiration to this video. It's the Charlotte Tilbury powder, and this is the Airbrush Flawless Finish. I have shade 2. And this is $45. So here it is. It's a face powder. This is a really nice product. It is a good powder for combo skin and dry skin. It's not super mattifying. It's not chalky. It adds a little bit of coverage. However, I just don't think this is worth $45. You can get a $7 or $8 powder from the drugstore, and it does the exact same thing. There's nothing more amazing about this than any other drugstore or even other high-end powders that are only $30 and not $45. So you're obviously paying for the name. Obviously the packaging is also really pretty, but yeah, this I just don't think is worth the hype at all, although it's not a bad product and I will continue to use it. I'm not returning it because it's not bad or anything, but yeah, kind of lesson learned on this one. All right, this next one may be a bit controversial, but I personally think that the original Beauty Blender is really overrated. That is a $20 makeup sponge, and I have used the Real Techniques Beauty Blender, or whatever it's called, for years. My last one lasted me for an entire year, and it's only $6. You can get a 2-pack, I think, for $9. I just think that they are the same quality to me. I don't think all beauty sponges are created equal though. I have bought a few random ones like at TJ Maxx and stuff that were as hard as a rock and I could not blend out my makeup. Actually, the e.l.f. one, I recently had that. It was not good. I actually got rid of it because it was very hard and didn't blend out things properly. But I do also have one from Shop Miss A right now that is $1.55 and it is amazing. So I think not all beauty sponges are good, but I think there's plenty that are good that are just way cheaper than the Beauty Blender. This next item is something that used to be a favorite of mine, you could say, and I think the Urban Decay eyeshadow formula is overrated. I know, it's such a popular brand, and I do like Urban Decay overall. I used to own the Urban Decay Naked palettes 1 through 3, and I loved them. They were my absolutely favorite palettes. But since then, I've tried other brands such as Even Too Faced or Juvia's Place or ColourPop, and I actually think some of those other formulas are better and much cheaper. The Naked palettes, so it's interesting because the new one is cheaper, but like I looked online at Ulta and the Naked 3 is $54. That's very, very pricey. I felt like some of the shimmers were chunky. The mattes were good, but yeah. I didn't think it was amazing once I started trying other brands. Next up is a primer. That is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. This is $39 and I did not like this one at all actually. I had a deluxe size sample and it was so weird because it's supposed to be a glowy primer, but it actually made my skin look drier. I'm not sure how that's possible, but yeah, it just kind of clung to dry patches and didn't really give me a lot of glow. The First Light priming filter, which is the purple one, I actually do like. I've had a deluxe size of that and I did really like it, but yeah, this other one I didn't like. I didn't think it was glowy, and yeah. This next item I think I did mention in a disappointing products video sometime last year on my channel, the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is $10, which is on the pricey side for a drugstore, and it was just so dry. It actually scratched my skin underneath my eyebrows. Maybe I got a dud that sat at Ulta for 50 years. I don't know, but I really did not like it, and I feel like $10 is a bit pricey for the drugstore. So yeah, people say this is amazing, and people are always saying that this is a dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz. and I just don't think it is. I've had many of the Brow Wizzes and they are really good and creamy, so yeah, this was not. So I'm sure people know that one of the most popular mascaras on YouTube and maybe just the internet in general is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. This is $24, which is pricey. I'm usually a drugstore kind of mascara person, but yeah, I tried this and it flaked so bad on me throughout the day. It did look nice. It was very voluminous, but yeah, within a few hours, I had black chunks all down here. And I was so disappointed by this because it's expensive. People say it's amazing. I'm sure it doesn't flake on everyone because otherwise people probably wouldn't love it, but yeah, for me it flaked, so yeah, that is definitely not worth it to me. This next item used to be very, very popular on YouTube, not so much anymore, but the NARS blushes. People used to talk about these obsessively, and I had like 6 or 7 of them. At that time, they were $26, and now they are $30. However, this was kind of similar to the Urban Decay situation where these used to be my favorite blushes, and I thought they were amazing. But then I tried other blushes and I realized that these were super glittery and not that pigmented. I love blushes from Anastasia. I have a Burt's Bees. I mean, there's so many good blushes out there, and I just think the NARS ones are really overrated. And I kind of think NARS as a brand is overrated. It is very expensive. I was looking at some of their prices. Their foundations are now around $47, which that's almost $10 more than a lot of other high-end foundations that are in the 30-something dollar range. And I don't know, I just think this whole brand is so expensive. I mean, their eyeshadow palettes are like $60. I can't comment on the eyeshadow palettes because I've never bought one. But yeah, I did have the Laguna bronzer. It was a good bronzer, but I don't think it's worth 40-something dollars. And I actually ran out of it really fast. It goes really quick. I definitely think that the NARS blushes are overhyped and kind of the brand in general. The next thing is more of a category than a specific item, but I think that high-end setting sprays are overhyped and overrated. I just don't think that there's a need for them. I've tried both the Smashbox one and the MAC Fix Plus, and they're great. I love them. However, since I've tried the e.l.f. setting spray and the Mario Badescu lavender one, they do the exact same thing. There's virtually no difference. The ingredients are the same. I mean, the main thing is they're mostly water, and another important ingredient in a lot of them is glycerin that kind of helps things stick. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that the high-end ones are worth it since I've tried drugstore ones that are literally the exact same thing. So I'm not going to pay $30 for fancy makeup water anymore when I can get it for $6. The last item I kind of hate to include in here because I didn't necessarily hate it, but the LA Girl Concealer. Oh my gosh, do you guys remember when this is all people used on YouTube? Every video, people were like doing it all here, then contouring with it and all of that jazz. Well, I bought it. It's only $5, but this did not wow me at all. It wasn't bad per se, but it was hardly any coverage, and which makes sense because all the people on YouTube I watched were putting on a ton of it, and I don't love to put on a ton of concealer, so I put on my normal amount, but it was basically sheer, so I didn't love that, and the color matches weren't great for me per se, but they do actually have a wide selection, so. And I can see why people contour with it because it's not super full coverage. I mean, I cannot imagine trying to cream contour with Tarte Shape Tape. I feel like that would be super messy and a disaster. So I can see it being good for that. I also really did not like the brush tip applicator. I much prefer doe foot applicators. So I would say the LA Girl Concealer is really not bad for $5, but I don't think it's that great. And for $5, I recently bought the e.l.f. concealer, the new one, the camo 16-hour wear, and it's amazing. So I think at the time when this was popular, the drugstore concealer game was really weak. So I do get why this got a lot of hype, but now the drugstore concealer game is much better. And this one is mediocre. Alrighty, so that is it for this video. Let us know down below, what product do you think is overhyped on YouTube or social media in general? And I will link the other 2 videos in this series, and thank you for watching.